You know, in hindsight, probably should have done something where I didn't already have Uptie 4. Ah well. Hey, welcome back to more Limbus Company. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time we did Walpurgis stuff. Damn, Knight of Despair got hands. I'll eventually figure out, like, how to do a solo with any ID that I have on my main account. That's fine. But for right now, what we're going to do before we hop on in is we're going to Uptie 4. Name of love and hate, Don Quixote. And then we're gonna Uptie 3, Solid Lament. Just can't afford Uptie 4 right now. 'Tis day 26! What a merry, fantastic day it was once again! For today was the day upon which I was availed a chance to, with our dearest fellow magical maiden, explore the tales of fixers of the northern regions, whose conveyance of justice was most valiant. Oh, how tedious it must have been for the maiden to be incarnated in such a barren, claustrophobic chamber, bereft of even a morsel of stimulation. She who deserved to breathe the free air, fighting evil by moonlight. Nay. One must always remain wary of the truth that she is but an abnormality. Not to mention that I, as a captain, must set a proper example for the other employees. I must best categorize this under the label of attachment work. Aha, but of course, all of mine efforts preparing various props that align with the abnormality's preferences, conversing for long hours with her, well, but honest toil to prevent abnormality 00104 Clearfault County from decreasing. It must be emphasized that any suggestion or allegations that I did all this for the sake of mine entertainment, or that I voluntarily stayed past work hours just to obtain her ego gift, are most preposterous accusations, which I do protest with vehemence. Let this be the witness of mine earnestness. This is quite bizarre that my handwriting had become so squilly and anxious. Before I am to proceed, some deep breaths. Thus I shall heretofore describe the lore of this arcana, she explained to me. From what I hear, she is one of veritable magical girls who are destined to battle villains. A great will in need of observers of justice, standing tall before the overwhelmingly powerful might of villains, be it minor or major arcana, hath chosen them and transformed them into magical girls. As arcana itself is but a neutral force of magic, it can be possessed and molded by both good and evil. Only those who are free from the corrupting allures of its power, only those with a steadfast vision for justice, may be hailed magical girls. She claimeth to have other senpai, meaning that she is the least experienced or perhaps the youngest out of them all, and hath explained that at one moment she simply found herself arising in this facility. As I was the one to enter her chamber in the moment of her awakening, she mistook me to be an agent of the arcana. She was quite hostile to me then. 'Twas quite troublesome to resolve that misunderstanding. Magical girls, the arcana. Much did she befuddle me with words I found so peculiar and unfamiliar, until I espied a common theme. All the stories she shared were none too dissimilar from the tales of fixers of the city. Though following my employment here at Lobotomy Corporation, I was behooved to relinquish this old dream of mine of becoming a fixer. If only I could dream again, by donning the identity of a magical maiden of justice. Ah, what joy that would be indeed! I inquired with haste, prithee, how doth one become subject to this choosing? A great tragedy it was, for she explained she knew not to know why she had been chosen, or how one goes about becoming a chosen one. Whence I came to a revelation upon observing the ego you extracted from her. Were I to be equipped with a staff and outfit, the very essences of love and justice, I may become a magical maiden of justice as well. She could not find it within herself to believe it at first. Outfit is hardly what maketh a magical girl, she vociferated. She soon came to see eye to eye, my most honest-hearted thirst toward justice, this burning righteous wrath against evil. Moreover, when she witnessed my battle against the breach abnormalities when she came out to assist us with our suppression efforts, she... verily, 'twas the moment of revelation for her as well, that I am, forsooth, a veritable and excellent magical maiden just as herself. We are now together protectors of justice at this company. Though the sufferers always diminish us, admonishing us as more trouble than help, though other colleagues who have experienced loss at the hands of abnormalities may impart resentful sentiments against us. I know this to be truth. The true magical girls are stubborn strugglers, survivors weathering whatever terrible adversity that cometh their way. 'Tis no wild, naive ramblings of a dream-consumed one. In fact, ever since my transfer to the Central Command Team to manage this magical maiden, I have preserved and conducted repeated detachment work on her, and that hath lifted me to the position of captain. And as Manager Esquire hath found this development, the lower containment breach rate for this magical maiden 00104. Most satisfying. Both Tifereth, sir and lady, have both spoken thusly indeed. Huh? Perplexing. Is that supposed to imply that she used to breach containment? In my recollections, I was one and only manager ever since she was first contained in Central Command. Yet I have no memory of her breaching containment. Well, nothing to concern myself with. Truthfully, I am quite bubbling with excitement for what tomorrow holds, and it shan't be peace that awaits me. Nay, it shan't be, for that is a detriment to the worth of mine existence. Is it? How strange. It's almost as if her sentiments are rubbing off on me. Verily, the existence of peace hath no business with my usefulness. And this must be fatigue speaking. I must also visit this welfare team, for it hath opened anew today. In today's management session, she claimed that there was a strange stir in the air. Perchance one of her elusive senpai hath arrived here as an abnormality. I must go meet the employees responsible for her management post-haste. Well, the jolly anticipation for what tomorrow holds must doth my daily journaling come to an end. I do like the fact that it kind of alludes to the fact that, like, with the time loop, or just reading the wiki, like, everyone, like, you know how to deal with the abnormalities if you are smart with it. So, like, yeah, QOH is an absolute fucking bitch to deal with, but if you know how to deal with her, she's not really that bad. Love Settlement, Spice Bush will still have its uses, for sure, but nay, I have rested well enough. Oft I am summoned for work, yet I despise it not, thus there is no need for you to worry. An invisible bell resounds 2 pleasant, high-pitched rings. The only sounds with the containment unit are the child's voice in the bell. You worry that I may be overstretching myself. Perhaps I would say that, with the current workload much worse than usual. It is as burdensome as it has always been, as familiar, which in turn makes it rather passable. But the child replies as though he is engaged in a mutual conversation with something. It is like that the abnormality with the head of a butterfly is directly transmitting its voice to this agent. In fact, I find this dialogue, rather pleasant. A conversation with you seems to broaden my perspective on things. The abnormality chatting with the child is a rather difficult entity to manage. T0168, also known as the funeral of dead butterflies. This abnormality is rather choosy about which employee gets to manage it. This is unjust heart find nothing but a waste of time conversing with it, and those that are rash of heart will quickly find themselves exhausted. That is what makes this child the most fitting employee to manage this abnormality. He has an appropriate amount of both a sense of justice and patience. Despite the fact that he is suppressing the abnormality's impulses, he does it through a gentle method of engaging in a mutual dialogue, not by force. The abnormality is probably intelligent enough to recognize that it is an attempt to manage it, but it does not allow it to bother him. Whichever was the case, it was rare to find an agent whose mind did not immediately crumble upon conversing with it. A dull sound of a bell echoes once. I was merely watching the butterfly resting upon the back of your hand. They are those with no place to return, thus are bound to rest upon you. Is that correct? Instead of a bell, the large butterfly atop their abnormality's head slowly flutters its wings. Behavior equivalent to a nod, perhaps. Should you perish, will the butterflies flutter away again, as one sits only to rise again? There's no easy way to comprehend what this child is saying. It's rather difficult to understand what he means. You know that death is not a concept applicable to abnormalities, but the clear, almost refreshing sound of the bell conveyed that this work session yielded a positive result. The abnormality quite enjoyed that response. Probably. I shall take my leave. Until next time, farewell. With that, the child exits the containment unit. He stands there for a moment, gladly enjoying that brief moment of respite. He's now trapped in a daydream. Captain Ryoshu. Once be woken from his ruminations about the child with a cigarette in her mouth, the captain of the safety team. Treating abnormalities like their people will only complicate things. There may be SIT. I'm only giving you the impression of it, as you're well aware of abnormalities. I'll just try to hide your grin with time for this. Warning, dawn of violet warning. First warning trumpet activated. All suppressor units in each department. An ordeal descends. Yes, it does. You're coming with me. I don't suppose there was any need for that. The child wheels the guns imbued with butterflies and stands back to back with the captain. Things aren't going according to plan. What, pray tell, does in this company? Stay here and hold the line. If you survive every single containment unit of this department falls, I'll kill you myself. Got that? As a matter of death, I will very much prefer to avoid. The child blows with an exasperated frown while the butterfly bullets continue to blast from his guns. He grew into a very skilled employee over his time here, enough so that he could exchange a few banters with his colleagues as he engaged in combat. Will you not assist, Captain? I'm heading to visit the information team to pick up the bullets they moved from the middle layer. Bullets, I see. The bullets must be the shield-type bullets the manager and the Sephiroth fire to protect us then. I prefer the bullet that bursts everything it touches. Is there true beauty in blasting an annoying coworker's head apart? But I suppose the useful one gets to live. Patrol team captain ordered her men to move the bullet stock from the middle to the upper layer for some information training purposes, she says. Is it Captain Faust of whom you speak? Then the training cannot have been her purpose, only an excuse to ensure we have access to the bullets. as that level of preparation appears rather unnecessary for ordeals of dawn. Patently, a calamity of greater magnitude is nigh to unfold. It'll be a waste to use the bursting blow on someone useful like you. I heard that the tale that Sephiroth charge of Captain Faust's department maintains quite the dangerously high standard for her subordinates. Testing, testing! Can you hear me, upper layer employees? I'll be in charge of the operation for this ordeal, so please follow my directions. She can try to come up with something, alright. She's not smart enough for that. Captain must prepare those countermeasures for such emergencies. Yet the more complicated the structure of a thing is, the greater the room it is for holes to go unnoticed. I mean all of you. Training team, information team, and safety team. I know that our employees can handle this. I suppose she's not lying. Considering an employee who can't handle is no employee at all in our eyes. Without the captain spun around and disappeared to the other side of the hallway. Left alone, the child turned his muzzles with his handguns toward the violent creatures. Fruits of understanding, have you not lost your ways? He carries out his duty. Firing butterflies has lost his foes. I warn you, bloom in the path for another one to follow. Solemn silence. I always love the little lore, like the, if we go through to, I believe it's in here, yeah, you can see, all of the different mirror worlds, that are in there. I don't know if they ever, like, officially get named anywhere, but it's the Honolulu one. K-Corp, so we got, oh, okay, so that's all the row spanners, and then, so for example, those are all in the same mirror world, while meanwhile, let's say, like, Deviat's also in the same mirror world with the two of them. Ishmael, same one as the Season 6 identities so far. You get it. It's a neat little thing. Big nose element is the butterfly status. It does quite a bit of damage. I believe... No, okay. We'll read through these minis and then do a little bit of combat. I hereby confirm today's close of business for the sinners. Whether we're riding a bus through a forest or navigating the bus boat over a vast lake, our daily routine changes very little. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Starting now, you'll all be given a maximum of 12 hours per taking sleep and rest. The duration is subject to change. Have a good night. Usual hubbub followed by the usual leisurely idleness. I'm not the only one starting to enjoy these normal routine days. It was by our choice, though. By now, I thought we'd be sailing vigorously across the waters toward the Lobotomy Corp branch, located somewhere within U-Corp. But here we are, unable to leave the coastal side of the Great Lake, dawdling and twiddling our thumbs. It's not like there's been an accident. While False started to elaborate, she explained that we had to wait for now. For a hazard of guess, we were waiting here to complete some kind of entry procedure like we did at K-Corp. Either that or we're waiting for someone, probably the 4 team, to get in touch with us. Which brings us here, surrounded by nothing but endless water. Sinners chattered about inane subjects were complaining about this immense boredom. But deep down, we were all exhausted from the unending onslaught of physically and emotionally draining happenings. Deep down, we all knew these leisurely days would not last. So we looked to enjoy this brief maritime respite in our own ways. If thou needest mine assistance, as I have repeatedly made myself clear, I am quite alright. Thy countenance returning with the contents within thy stomach to the lake with such vigour saith otherwise. Except for ye Sally, who had surprisingly low tolerance for seasickness. This voyage was proving to be rather uneventful. Sally, the day's over. You can go back to your room now. Shall we finally be free from the suffering? Don't know that you could rest in your room if you wanted. I felt must also have their share of suffering. I cannot in good faith seek comfort only for myself. You're not the biggest share of suffering right now. Although she'd be more reasonable with himself, I could see where he's coming from. Thought better of it than try to convince him otherwise. I instead chose to help you song to his room. I thank you, Dante. Then, until later. I waved at him and watched as he stumbled into his room and closed the door behind him. Then I shall seek myself respite as well, Bench Esquire. And as well. Don Quixote walked into the same door that Yi-Sang had walked into. I get a blurry glimpse of into her room from over her shoulder. I couldn't get a good look at it, but it was certainly not the same room as Yi-Sang had walked into. I see these doors every day, but I still don't get it. Probably used to this by now, but it's still pretty fascinating how the rooms change based on who opened doors. I turned, leaving their shut door behind, ready to return to my room. There's a door immediately to the right of the side of the demarcation of the corridor that we're not allowed to cross. And that door is a space somewhat different from the sinners' rooms. And there was one door to my room, and the metal door leading to the mirror dungeons. The doors leading to the excavation dungeons, and the recently opened doors to the refreshing railway also come into view. That won't be open for a little while yet. No new doors yet. For no reason in particular, I creaked those doors open to take a quick peek inside to see if anything changed. I never actually managed to catch any change myself, but who knows? Maybe I'll notice something worth keeping to myself. I should probably report to Faust. Something must have caught wind of my rather mischievous thought. An ear-splitting siren blares all the way here from the other end of the bus. Blimey, what the hell is... Oh boy, this again? M.E. Kill the volume. I spun around to face the other side of the corridor. The sinners, alarmed by the noise, were the ones peeking out of their rooms. They were used to the siren by now, but that didn't change the unpleasant fact that their sweet private hours were disturbed. Well met, Dante. Let us observe this disturbance together. Okay. I accompanied Faust to the helm. She fiddled with a few buttons and shut off the alarm. Incomprehensible, complicated-looking letters began to fill the round screen. Is that our new room? Even Faust needs a moment to decipher. Right. Siren always comes without warning. And when with it appeared the mirror dungeons, lost salvation dungeons, and the fractional railways. I don't know if it's relevant, but I didn't see anything to indicate activity when I checked the railway door earlier. It's unlikely that anything new would appear from that entrance. I find it difficult to believe that the next line will arrive so soon, with the glow of the door leading to line 2 has yet to go out. Guess you're right. First railway really took me by surprise when it first appeared. A new door had appeared before us, its edges shimmering with a blue glow, and when we entered it, a mysterious vehicle was just sitting there, waiting for us. Its appearance somewhat resembled that of Mephistopheles, but it was also patently clear that I'd never seen anything like it before. An odd feeling. I see that your first encounter with the train has left a strong impression, Dante. Although you had a rather violent reaction when I entered the train to observe its interiors. Come on, I wasn't the only one that freaked out, everyone did. What if the thing left the station before the rest of us got on? That's what I wanted to say if Faust hadn't already turned around from the screen to which her eyes had metaphorically been glued to for a while and walked away. So wasn't it then? No. This particular volatility is not something we can utilize. That was an awkward time for a new door to appear too soon. Dungeons in the rows appeared at awkward times as well, Dante. I recommend that you refrain from settling to a premature conclusion. A new variable may present itself at any moment. Moreover, if this volatility has triggered an alarm in Mephistopheles' engine, it naturally follows that a new door has appeared in an indeterminate location down the corridor. They reveal a space from which one can never return. It's best that we keep track of these incidents. Even Heathcliff won't do anything like that again, probably. As for my last advice to you, a premature conclusion is... Regardless, no serious issues have been detected at this moment. It's most apt that we enjoy our remaining rest period. Excuse me, rest well, Dante. With those as our parting words, Faust disappeared into her room in her usual manner. Left alone on this boat. I looked at the numerous letters displayed across the screen. Numbers, unintelligible letters, drawings and symbols depicting something. I had to shake my claw cat after staring at the dizzying sight for a while. I wonder if this is how Yi-Sang felt earlier. I'm starting to feel nauseous. I was barely able to hold back the vertigo from setting in, then sauntered back into my room. It's starting early for tonight. At least the Railway 1 book guk is going to be existing sometime. Eventually. Another day, another prolonged and dreary period of waiting, and some more waiting for something to happen. Of course, the bus boat was still floating on the coastal Great Lake. Voices of discontent among sinners started to small, but they have been growing increasingly incessantly. Holy crap! All of a sudden, an ear-splitting sound echoes through the cabins. It's that alarm again, warning of the volatility of Mephistopheles, but it was much louder and much more painful than the ones you've heard before. And this time it wasn't the only thing that assailed our senses. I've never had flashing lights like this before, right? Was it this time? How did you feed this bloody rickety bus? This must be the signal that the long-awaited adventure is finally nigh! Is this what we've been waiting for this whole time? No. Realist frowned as though he sensed something that was off. Turned to Faust. It was on one of those rare occasions where I could sense the slightest sense of confusion from him. Wee woo, wee woo. Mephi's blaring, crying. Mephi sick? What is this, Miss Faust? I wasn't warned about a siren like this before. First, a question of falsehoods is in order. Mephistopheles is not bloody rickety, and eating is not part of its behavior. It does make infrequent use of the encapsulant supply gear installed in the engine for fuel, but that has no negative consequence. Even if it was, whatever issues that may arise can handily be repaired after proper total disassemblage. That was just a figure of speech! So what's this now? Like the bus about to explode. Like when Mephistopheles is some bloody rickety bus, completely disregards the amount of pain and effort Faust dedicated to designing him. Heathcliff, if you don't take it back, I don't think it's ever gonna stop. Seriously? Yeah, take it back. It's supposed to actually light blow up before she explains anything. Take back what I said earlier. I don't comprehend what you were attempting to take back. Your rather abstract reference to this unknown concept that you supposedly mentioned earlier is hardly clarifying. Anyway, allow me to list the specifications of screws listed using Mephistopheles' construction that made its creation so impressive. First, fine! Take what I said about the bus, not bloody rickety and doesn't eat! Sorry, alright? Cameron briefly echoes with his cries and then a brief silence. I think I saw Faust flash the briefest grin of satisfaction. Good. Drunk clown show over. This juvenile tedious exchange is testing my patience. It's a bit different from the usual alarms, but this one's for a new door. It's quite simple. The night is here. WDYM. TOISYNC. Talk or a snap your... Well, Pergus night is here, it seems. The night is not here. That is very apparent, at least in this coastal area. The name does not refer to the time of day in which the sun moves beyond our line of sight. It appears to me that by designation you are referring to a certain phenomenon. You seem to be doing a little bit better, not the waves have died down somewhat. I am indeed. I'm certain you are all most familiar with the fact that extracting identities and ego from mirror worlds is one of the many functions of Mephistopheles' engine, but its reach is rather limited. Even as it is expanded over a journey, we have yet to reach mirror worlds that are too far from our own. What's the Golden Bow's doing? Notice I was fishing out more and more new things, like the longer our journey went on. Broadly speaking, yes, you could say that. Dante and our collective experiences gradually expand the range of our extractions. Normal extractions require a certain resource, but those were in times when the identity cards appeared out of nowhere. Do you recall them, Dante? Yeah, something just randomly popped out of the engine. Wait, slow down. That was an identity card. I still don't know. Yeah, I'm jealous of you, Heathcliff. I'm telling for ignoring anything you don't care about. Look, get your head smashed in or what? Alright, knock it off, you guys. Godbud's giving us the evil eye. The things Miniature Bud pulls out from the engine time to time. Little rectangular objects in our alternate worlds. What's mirror worlds? Yeah, it's the little things that picture our older selves on them. Yeah, things that look like marshalling tiles. Yeah, that look a bit like wafers. I believe their denomination comes from the appearances of cards that contain their identities. That's an actually follows their names identity cards. Using those rectangular toys to transform to alternate selves? Never used them before. It's because I'm the one using them. On the device issued to Dante are indentations through which the identity cards and ego can be inserted. They are refracted when we participate in battle. So that's what they were fidgeting with before every fight. I could tell from his flabbergasted expression that none of it had ever seen even occurred to Heathcliff, and then Don Quixote wore a somewhat forlorn expression. Come on, Don Quixote. Is this not about the time when Ishmael would intrude upon this conversation and denounce Heathcliff with biting words such as, "You still didn't know, that's just like you"? This emptiness weighs heavily upon mine heart. You're right, someone's missing this whole convo, I knew it. Right, daft bastards. Enough. We're not getting the information we need. Miss Faust, please explain the present situation. Where are these green lights? Understood. If we take into account the case of identity cards Dante received without spending any lunacy, we can draw a conclusion that the Mephistopheles extraction has an element of unpredictability tied to its uncertainty. How should we blather about now? This item is of your design, so there's an element of unpredictability would indicate that. Correct. It definitely fuels the engine, yes. However, extractions and reconstructions utilize chaos. In easier terms, you could say that this uses the concept of possibilities itself as fuel. Our extraction range grows when we are able to clearly observe specific possibilities of infinitely branching mirror worlds. During this period, however, the borders between the mirror realities are entirely shattered. Using the present as our anchoring point, it can be said that our current extraction range is approximately 3 years to the past or future. During Walpurgis Night, however, that range grows to about 10 years or even more. In that case, does that mean it's to say that the identities of prominent fixes from times past may grace us with? Theoretically speaking, yes. But each Walpurgis Night has its own peculiarities. It will not let us reach all potential possibilities. Does that mean we may also be availed of our alternative senses, the legendary fixer, the arch-magnificence, the one and only Red Mist? That is extremely unlikely, but I'm not completely dismiss the possibility. The extended range, I suppose, can be defined by the worlds affected by entities that were indispensable to the formation of this current state of the world. An example that would be of the Lobotomy Corporation headquarters prior to the White Nights and Dark Days incident. In some ways, your words find a roundabout way to the truth, Don Quixote. I didn't know who this Red Mist was, nor did I know what the White Nights and Dark Days was, but I guess I would guess that the most must have been pretty significant, considering that Virgilius' face grew visibly tense as they were mentioned. The sinners were unsettled too. The star is no cause for me to concern then. No, it isn't. Consider it a festival that arrives once in a while, for now. Festival. Festive times. Charon is festive too. I don't know if I got all that, but this isn't what we've been waiting for, is it? No, we'll continue to wait. Sinner's sighed and groaned, disappointed as the newfound anticipation fizzled. Well, it did happen, but it wasn't something that could get us moving. I can see what a disappointment this might have been to them. I'm gonna stop the green light from flashing. You'll turn yourself up and Dante extract something from the engine. Do not worry. Back to business, all. Dante, extract something and turn that alarm off. What? This will be more dungeons through the back door with whatever new thing they pull anyway. Still, this lesson is a very rare opportunity, isn't it? Blessed be the patient ones, or so it is said. If Sinner says their peace before returning to their seats. Some of them walk up to the cabin to gaze at the lake. It must be something they've been growing a tad tired of doing at this point. They're just going on for a long sigh. They notice walked up to me. Not worried, Executive Manager. Huh? What the mad scientist said. For now. There must be more to that statement. Should we investigate this matter further? What was right? Faust did tell us to consider this nothing more than a festival that arrives once in a while. She definitely knew more than she was letting on. But if Faust speaks of something in her characteristically cryptic manner, it means that she'll never tell us what until she wants to. It does bother me a little. But right now we don't have a lot of options. Let's put a pin in it for now. Ellis nodded affirmatively, bowed, and returned to her seat. She distraction like Faust said. I don't have any lunacy for that, though. I want my lunacy. I already spent a bunch of lunacy, it's fine. I also completely forgot that I was gonna save up for, save the song for, Thread. So I already spent it. We're one short of having a full sinking team. Well, full for a while. Until Kanto 8. We need one more sinking ID, but... Location is marked by the Pirate's Blood Lettuce 2. There's a club. Faint music can be heard echoing out from behind the doors. Is this the place? Anyone has been to allow flamboyant deluxe dance club like this before? If I had to guess, my bet would be on you. Oh, come on, flashy bar like this in my back streets. You don't have much business back there. Who would sometimes host secret backstreet parties, but somehow always caught on. Why are we talking about this? See Dante? Bouncer's at the gate. Welcome. How many are we here today? Dude, come on, man. Don't you remember me? I'm on the list. Oh, my apologies. Please enter. Look, they're checking some of the guests before letting them in. Gotta squeeze in there some. Roger's out next to the line is. What, me? What are you blabbing about? Smash a skull in. I think that's calling if I were you, Heath. Should I? So at this point, my syndicate was less about music and dance, more about blood, loyalty, things like that. I'm of a small water no pub bloke that a fancy clubber. Getting sloshed, drinks from old Ricky tables, that's more like it. Me. Music, screams of fear and pain. Deluxe, walls painted red with blood. Dance people with crushed joints forced to dance. It's not a club. Can't think of anyone else then. I've been to such a club. Quite often. You're joking. I am not. I fail to see why that is difficult for you to accept. It's merely one place I visit when I used to wander in search of life's joys. Cursory observation of the procedure reveals that it is in fact a private club. As a general rule, visitors must receive the bouncer's permission prior to entry. Most bouncers are above average mass and likely beyond. Key elements to getting past the bouncers are. You'd be right if this was just any other club. Is she? She might walk past us and went up to the club entrance. Home to a leader of a syndicate. The question you should be asking is, what are the other ways of entering this establishment? And I'm sure the answer lies with the syndicate member. Easy enough, right? What brings you here, if I may ask? I'm Kikeg's friend. You're whose friend? Kikeg. You recognize that name, don't you? I don't know if it's Kikeg or Queequeg. You mentioned that name, the bouncer's expression changed from that of indifference to disbelief. Why? Bouncer whispers something to the radio. Is he really gonna let us in? You're truly a friend of this Queequeg. What if I am? Where is Queequeg? It's your boss asking. Right. So your boss is in the club, huh? Oh, that's good. Where's Queequeg? I'm trying to hook around our way. Repeat. Sorry. I'm trying to hook around our way. Repeat. Thought we were trying to sneak in. No. I just wanted to know if the boss was home. She would get all the intel we want from them. God, look at them. Look at these three. Look at them. Absolute bangers. I've played around a little bit with Queen of Hatred, Dawn. In my spare time. Not spare time. When I was too tired to do recording. It ramps up very slowly, but once it does ramp up to full, by God, is it good. It's insanely good. Meanwhile, Coyote Roja is also quite good. Honestly, like, Coyote Roja might even be better than Queen of Hatred Dawn. Oh yeah, I should probably have Ishmael in here instead of probably Butler. Will that toss us into... It might toss us into despair. Okay, well, Nether Despair Roja can instantly go into a negative sanity mode with her guard. As I think it's instantly. But, like, for example, Dawn Once she has three, I think it's three, of the Magic Arcana, then I'm using her skill 3. Where is it? There's... I know it swaps, but... I don't know what it is for... Cause like, I've seen it swap, but... I don't remember exactly... how it swaps. Or like, why it is that it swaps, but... I know it does. Actually... Oh, never mind. I think it uses... No. What is the thing on it that tells it to swap? Okay, here comes Magical Girl, yada. What the fuck is it that makes it switch? Okay. So, yeah, 3 stack, and then... So, check... Oh, that's why it swaps, because of Magical Arcana. And then, I don't think this one swaps on its own. I don't think Night Row just swaps on its own. But swaps like that. It can with Knight's Fate, whatever. Swap on over to, I think it's the deep tiers mostly? Something like that. Yeah, technically speaking, Magical Girl Dawn can swap herself, but... Honestly, I really enjoy these IDs. They are very fun to play with. Like, just not constant, but the fact that they are able to work both positive and negative is just a really interesting idea. Shut the fuck up, QOH. Gosh, she just fucking yaps. Yeah, jeez, took no damage. QOH Dawn is really good damage dealer. Roja can actually do quite a lot too, in terms of damage in her negative form, but positive sanity is a lot of defensive. She can work as a tank. I think, does she get aggro? Shockingly, not really. Whatever. Regardless, that will do it for this time, and next time, we'll continue on with Kanto 5, but until then, see you guys later!